Hello, this is Flea, and today we're going to talk about, and I'm sorry if my head is cut off today, we're going to talk about, what are they called again? My brain's having a fart again. Anyways, Graveastars. They're very unusual. I was going to do something about, the, neutron stars like the magnet star and the pulsar and the quasar, but instead I ended up found this on YouTube, this topic. Anyways, it's like if you think black holes are the end all of everything, you are wrong. Let me tell you, nay, you're wrong, because there is this even denser, darker, really dense thing called a gravitar. It's kind of like a black hole, but it doesn't have this sucky part. It still sucks you in, but you just have to get even closer to it to it deletes information. It will suck you in. By the time you get anywhere close to it, you're dead 50 times over. So what are these things? They are more or less were discovered on paper through just the same way with black holes, through mathematics. I'm not good at math, so this might be a short video. This might not be. So user beware. I might be a little stingy on this because I'm not good at math. So anyways, a black hole, we all know what that is. It's a super dense bit of matter. We think it's the strangest thing there is, but what about a gravitar? What do they do that interests us even more? Well, they have this thing in space. They got some matter is called a vacuum. You might not think that space has very much, but it does. It's a vacuum. And in this case, the vacuum also is trapped inside this shell. And this shell cannot bend, and it cannot do anything. It's pretty interesting, but you can't do anything, and even an atom can't even get through. It's that dense that an atom can't even get through the gravitar's different thing. That being said, its shell. It has a shell. And then in it is this flubber-like stuff. It's like made of quarks, but I don't know if it is made of quirks, or whatever you want to quirks. That being said, it is of a gooey substance, like a quark, or strange quark matter. It's a kind of gooey stuff. I forgot what it was called, but neutron stars are mentioned to be having this stuff. But anyways, this stuff is even darker than what neutron stars are. When a star decides to break or die, it turns into a black hole, a white dwarf, or a neutron star. In this case, the black hole if it gets even worse, it'll crush into this thing of nothingness, which is a gravitar. And these things can be like the head of those push pins I use, or the needle, which is completely small, or they can be the size of 10 suns, depending on the gravistar, actually. That being said, what are these things is beyond me, but they're like they're so magnetic and so dense, they'll suck anything. You don't have to get too close to, like with black holes, you can just go near the event horizon and you're done. But it doesn't delete very much, but it'll kill you. Whereas a graveastar can even delete information. It doesn't just get rid of you or whatever floats by it and it'll go in. You get the drift. It's going to go in. Information, light, matter, you name it, it'll go in that. So, and it doesn't always need an event horizon. That's I think there's a strange part about the graveastar. They don't always need a freaking event horizon. Their event horizon, if they have any, are very minimal, and you can just unknowingly float by and then you're sucked in. Kind of like a car salesman. So that being said, what is a graveastar? That is it. It's so dense that even atoms are down to the quarks. And there's up and down quarks. And then there's another one called strange quark, which is very interesting. The strange quark, you'll find in the old stars of the universe that may have died and turned into different things, like neutron stars and stuff. Strange quark is very interesting. And then there's this thing which is very interesting, it's called a strangelet. And this is where I'm starting to get religious here and start to wonder if there might be something that created this universe. There might not be. And that universe has a lot of strange stuff. And the strangelet can be like a chicken nugget size thing of this strange quark glue. Okay, I got it now. Quark goo. And it's the strangest thing on Earth. But anyways, I'll talk about that and neutron stars another time. But so it's made of this quark goo, or whatever you want to call it, and it's like even the smallest thing before the subparticles of an atom, before neutrons, protons, electrons. It's very interesting that they would be destroyed in such a way that they're down to their foundations practically, and that we cannot find out what they really are until we discover more about these things. But anyways, the grav is so cold. It's like the surface of this shell is 1/millionth or 1/billionth of a degree before absolute zero. If you're wondering what absolute zero is, I am pretty sure that it is at minus 283. I could be wrong, but that is what I was taught in school. So I was not taught about graveastars. So these are very interesting. They're like, and even as far as I'm concerned, the small stuff about them, even as I said, an atom can't even get through the shell to get into the bubbles. They're like bubbles. Now, they could be a universe within a universe, is what I was told. Could we be in a graveastar? We don't know. But anyways, that's basically what it is. It's like a miniature universe, and then I'm pretty guessing that within that bubble, that really dense bubble, there's goo, and then there's another bubble. Now, I don't understand this correctly myself, but maybe we are in a graveastar of our own. the universe could be a graveastar, because it is a bubble in and on its own. Sometimes, and I'm read this, is that sometimes the universes pop up all the time. Like there could be another universe popping up right now. And some last longer than others. Some fizzle out like soap bubbles and they just pop and go away. Some stay and last longer than others. You can imagine that our universe, our reality, has stayed a lot longer than that of an actual bubbly soap bubble type universe. As I said, some last longer than others, some don't. But graveastars, so we might be in a graveastar. We don't know this for a fact. But we only know that the universe is a bubble. And inside these graveastars are bubbles. So we might be inside a graveastar. That's my question to you. Are we in a graveastar? This is the complete nth of reality, because we are starting to notice these things physically through these radio telescopes, as well as on paper. They're not just on paper now. Some people are starting to notice some really weird stuff going on in the universe. God has some really strange side projects, and this is one of them. I would say they're side projects because I didn't know what a graveastar was until I watched a video about graveastars, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it's like the evil version of a black hole, like where a black hole has an accretion disk, and it has all this energy shooting out. This doesn't. It sucks you in completely. You're done. If you, like, say you're just walking near and someone grabs you by the, you don't even know it, that's a graveastar. But if someone tapped you and then grabbed you, that would be a black hole. You know, the accretion disk is there. You know, the jets of radiation are flying out and stuff like that. But a graveastar, you don't see it. They just grab you by the neck and say, don't even say anything, they just take you. And before they can even take you, you're dead. Whereas a black hole, you know there's the black hole with the accretion disk and the event horizon and that very unimaginable amount of heat and light before you go in the black hole. So, that being said, the science behind a graveastar is still being understood to this day. We are still trying to find out what the fuck is going on with this reality of ours, and we don't know what is going on, to be honest. What is going on with the entity that created the universe? You fill in the blank with your religion, what this entity is. But anyways, you can imagine that we're getting close to knowing what this entity really is. I know some of you might not be as happy to hear about that. I would like to put a face to the name and say, you did something. So, graveastars are this next step of understanding the universe and understanding where we're coming from, even though this thing is completely fucking destructive. It's so destructive you can't understand it. It's on paper, but we're starting to see some weird stuff going on in the universe that may cause us to think that these things are real, but as I said, I don't understand them as much as the scientists. They're still wondering, what the hell is this stuff? And black holes, you would think, are at the epitome of weird, except for yours truly. That being said, at least you know I'm around. You can see me and stuff. A black hole, I'm not too sure. But a graveastar is even weirder than anything. It's the weirdest thing that I've ever heard about, and I was like, I have to make a video of this today. So I decided to make the video, and I'm still stumped, to be honest with you, because it's like the extreme version of nuclear fusion, to the point where it's right down to the subsets of the atoms, and then to the point where it's to the very smallest thing, almost like a neutrino or a quark. And those things, you can't split or fuse a quark. So once you get to the quarks, you're kind of like, okay, I cannot split, I cannot fuse them. They're there. They're in a goo. And that's basically how it is with this, is that what is going on and what is going on in God's mind to cause this. I don't usually say the G word, but in this case, we gotta say someone's up to something. We don't know what the next thing is. As I said, this thing can be the size of a pin, not unlike these, to your guitar, to your book, or as big as 10 suns or 10 million suns. It depends on the conditions that make this graveastar, and we don't know if we're being sucked into one until it's too late. Unlike a black hole, it's like, okay, time is stopping. These things make time stop, slow down, and then stop. But it doesn't have a very good event horizon as a black hole. You just fall into them. And they're the coldest fucking things in the universe, basically. As I said, they're 1/billionth of a degree warmer than absolute zero, which would be minus 283 degrees. I don't know if it's Fahrenheit or Celsius or Kelvins, but it's fucking cold when you are dabbling into near the absolute zero. So you can see it is dark. We're getting into some dark shit. There's no fusion. There's no fission. There's nothing very much going on, except it's like it eats up everything that goes into it, that goes near it. It eats like that. You don't even know I was doing that. So you get my drift. I might have a better understanding, but I am not very good with math. We just don't know these things are there until the time stops or slows down, and the next thing you know, we're in for it. And we're starting to argue, is this like a mini universe within a universe? As I said, I don't very well understand this. I just thought it was interesting, so I made the video about it to give you a heads up that these things are starting to be known physically, because as I said, there's some really strange things going on. And I could not give you any graphics today, because this would be representational art for sure for some of our friends that don't like representational art. You can imagine that this would be representational art if I tried to even draw a Graveastar. They are the black hole's evil twin, and that's basically putting it lightly. Darkly, they're just darkness. That's it. They're darkness. What's going on inside them is some kind of goo and bubbles. And we don't know what these bubbles are going to be doing until we end up being sucked into one ourselves. And by then, it'll be too late because we're dead 50 times over. Because once you're starts pulling, you're dead. Kind of like a black star, but 50 times over. It's kind of interesting. I know I'm saying kinda, but really, what is with this stuff? I don't know. I just talk about this stuff because it's very interesting to me, and I think it would be very interesting to you as well. So that's why I talk about it. Something that gets on my mind sometimes, and usually I will talk about the different sciences like biology, chemistry, not just physics and astronomy, but I'm on a roll today this while. Like I might talk about bloodborne pathogens because, for one, I used to have one at one point, but that might be another video for another time. Well, supposedly. That being said, I'm not going to say very much. I hope you subscribe, like, hit the bell button, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.